Fear is not just a feeling that passes through the mind. It is a full-body command. The moment fear takes hold, the nervous system shifts into survival mode, and everything inside the body reorganizes around one priority: protection. Heart rate increases, muscles tighten, breathing becomes shallow, and energy is redirected away from long-term repair toward immediate defense. This response is brilliant when danger is real and short-lived, but when fear becomes constant, especially fear about health, the body never receives the signal that it is safe to heal. Here is the hidden cost most people never consider. A body in survival mode is not a healing body. It is a guarding body. It is braced, vigilant, and prepared for threat. Chronic fear keeps stress hormones circulating through the bloodstream, quietly interfering with immune regulation, digestion, hormonal balance, and cellular repair. The body is not malfunctioning in this state. It is obeying the message it is receiving, and that message is simple and relentless. Stay alert. Something is wrong. What makes this particularly powerful is that the nervous system does not distinguish between physical danger and imagined danger. A frightening diagnosis, a painful memory, a constant stream of alarming information, or the thought, "What if this never gets better?" can trigger the same biological response as a real emergency. The body reacts to perception, not just reality. This means fear itself can become the ongoing stressor it keeps healing out of reach. Consider this for a moment. What if your symptoms are not getting worse because your body is failing, but because it is stuck in protection mode? What if the body is doing exactly what it is designed to do under threat: tighten, conserve, defend? This question alone can change the entire relationship you have with your body. It shifts the story from helplessness to understanding. In survival mode, the body prioritizes immediate safety over long-term health. Repair mechanisms slow down, inflammation increases, sensitivity heightens, pain becomes louder, not quieter. The body is constantly listening, not just to what you do, but to what you signal. One of the most powerful signals it responds to is safety. When the body feels safe, it shifts out of defense and into regulation, repair, and balance. This is not a philosophical idea, it is a biological requirement. Healing is not initiated by force or urgency, but by the nervous system's recognition that the environment, internal and external, is no longer threatening. Safety begins in the nervous system. When the brain perceives safety, it reduces stress signaling and allows resources to move toward digestion, immune coordination, hormonal balance, and cellular repair. When safety is absent, those same resources are diverted toward vigilance. Many people unknowingly live in a state where their body never receives the message that it is safe enough to heal. They rest, but the nervous system stays alert. They eat well, but digestion remains compromised. They follow protocols, but the body resists recovery because it is still guarding against danger. Here is the uncomfortable question most people never ask. What if your body is not resisting healing, but protecting you? What if the symptoms you are trying to eliminate are the body's way of staying prepared for a threat it believes is still present? This reframes the entire healing process. Instead of asking, "What else should I do?" the more powerful question becomes, "What would help my body feel safe right now?" Safety is communicated through small, consistent signals. Slow breathing, predictable routines, gentle movement, and moments of stillness all tell the nervous system that it does not need to stay on high alert. Even posture matters. A tense body reinforces the message of danger, while a relaxed body signals stability. The body learns safety not from logic, but from experience. You cannot think your way into safety. You must feel it. One of the most overlooked aspects of healing is emotional safety. Self-criticism, impatience, and constant monitoring of symptoms can keep the nervous system activated. Symptoms are often treated as intruders, unwanted disruptions that must be silenced, suppressed, or eliminated as quickly as possible. This mindset is deeply ingrained in modern health culture, and it shapes how people relate to their bodies from the moment discomfort appears.
Pain triggers panic. Fatigue triggers frustration. Inflammation triggers fear. But what if this approach is fundamentally misguided? What if symptoms are not enemies at all, but intelligent signals attempting to communicate something essential? The body does not speak in language, yet it communicates constantly. It uses sensation, rhythm, intensity, and discomfort to convey information. A symptom is not random noise, it is structured feedback. When a system is under strain, out of balance, or overwhelmed, the body signals that state through sensation. Ignoring or attacking the signal does not resolve the underlying message, it often amplifies it. This is why symptoms that are feared tend to persist, while those that are understood often soften. Here's a powerful hook to consider. Symptoms do not demand fear, they demand attention. Fear tightens the nervous system, increases stress hormones, and heightens sensitivity, which can intensify the very sensation you're trying to escape. Attention, on the other hand, invites regulation. When symptoms are approached with curiosity rather than resistance, the internal environment shifts from conflict to cooperation. Pain, for example, is not merely a problem to be eliminated, it is a protective mechanism. It draws awareness to areas that require care, rest, or change. When pain is met with fear, the brain amplifies its signal to ensure it is not ignored. When pain is met with understanding and safety, the brain can lower the volume. The same principle applies to fatigue, digestive discomfort, and inflammation. These are not failures, they are adaptive responses. One of the most damaging beliefs people carry is that symptoms mean something has gone wrong beyond repair. This belief alone can increase distress.
The mind is not a passive observer of the body. It is one of its most powerful regulators. Every thought carries biochemical consequences, and every expectation subtly shapes physiological response. Long before a change appears in tissue, immunity, or pain levels, the brain has already predicted what will happen next and adjusted the body accordingly. This predictive function is not a weakness of the human system, it is how the nervous system maintains order and safety. The challenge arises when these predictions are dominated by fear and negative expectation. Expectation acts like a lens through which the body interprets experience. When the mind expects harm, deterioration, or failure, the brain prepares the body for defense. Stress hormones rise, muscles tighten, sensitivity increases, and inflammatory responses are more easily triggered. The body is not malfunctioning in these moments, it is responding precisely to the instructions it is receiving. The most compelling hook here is this: the body often follows expectation more faithfully than reality. Modern neuroscience shows that the brain does not wait for events to occur before responding, it anticipates them. If pain is expected, neural circuits amplify pain signals. If fatigue is expected, energy regulation shifts downward. If recovery feels unlikely, repair mechanisms slow. This process is largely unconscious, which is why people are often unaware of how deeply their thoughts are influencing their physical state. What feels like a purely physical problem may be strongly reinforced by mental prediction. There is a profound difference between realistic awareness and fear-based expectation. Awareness observes what is happening without projecting catastrophe. Fear-based expectation, however, tells a story about what will happen next, and the body responds as if that story is already true. This is why two people with the same condition can experience entirely different levels of suffering and recovery. Their biology is shaped not only by the condition itself, but by the meaning assigned to it. Consider the quiet power of hope, not as optimism, but as openness to possibility. The human body runs on rhythm, not randomness. Nearly every major system, hormonal release, digestion, sleep cycles, immune activity, cognitive alertness, operates on predictable timing patterns.
When your daily schedule is irregular, these systems are forced to constantly recalibrate, which increases internal stress and reduces efficiency. When your schedule is rhythmic, regulation becomes smoother and energy becomes more stable. Here's a hook to remember. Chaos drains biology, rhythm restores it. Sleep timing is one of the strongest regulators. Going to bed and waking at consistent hours trains circadian clocks that control metabolism, mood chemistry, and cellular repair. Irregular sleep confuses these clocks and weakens recovery quality, even if total hours seem adequate. The same principle applies to eating patterns. When meals arrive at predictable times, digestive enzymes and insulin responses prepare in advance, improving nutrient handling and energy balance. Predictability is not boring to your biology, it is supportive. Movement also benefits from rhythm more than intensity. Short, regular activity sessions condition cardiovascular.
Human physiology is not designed for isolation, it is calibrated for connection. Social interaction is not just emotionally comforting, it is biologically regulating. When you experience supportive connection, your nervous system shifts towards safety, stress hormone levels decrease, and recovery processes become more efficient. This is measurable in heart rate variability, immune markers, and inflammatory response. Here's a hook that many people overlook. Supportive relationships are not a luxury, they are metabolic support systems. Conversation with a trusted person can lower stress chemistry faster than many solo coping techniques because co-regulation occurs. The brain reads tone of voice, facial expression, and presence as safety signals. These cues reduce defensive activation automatically without conscious effort. That is why stress often feels lighter after being shared. Another hook to lock in: pressure shared is pressure biologically reduced. Isolation, even when chosen for productivity, can silently increase cognitive and emotional load. Without external feedback and emotional exchange, the mind tends to amplify